What is Restaurant Week, Abigail Turnbull?
Oh, of course. So this year, Restaurant Week is a little different because we are having it kind of fall within one of the weeks that the Junior League of Detroit is having their designer show house. Last year, we started a passport to the Points, and we're bringing that back again this year, where we'll have postcards at all the restaurants that are participating. And when you go to a restaurant and you dine there for Restaurant Week, you will get a stamp that's a little sticker with their logo. And as you collect those, you get more and more chances to be entered into a big raffle that we will have at the end of Restaurant Week, where we'll give away gift cards and chamber change. Those are our chamber gift cards to people that have participated in Restaurant Week.
Finding that mentor, finding that person that's going to be able to guide you, that's going to be able to lead you and to show you certain avenues and opportunities to help you in your career. Someone that's not going to always give you the answers, but also too to let you know, like, you f***ed up. And it's like, damn, like, that hurts, but I need to hear that.
Yeah, because if you only hear good all the time, then you're never going to change and grow.
Let's say you had a chance encounter with what happened to be the devil himself. And if the devil were to make you an offer where he would say, Abigail Turnbull, I have an opportunity for you that you couldn't refuse. Do you take this offer that the devil presents to you?
What an interesting question.
What is up, everybody? Walter Hooper, host of Marketing Minds Meet. And today we have a very, very unique and special episode because this is this guest's second time back. So they made a return because they love the experience so much that now they're just like, they got more that they want to talk about. And I know there's some things and questions that we definitely want to ask and get some updates on. So I'm just going to get right to it. All the way straight from the Hill in Grosse Pointe. And in the Grosse Pointe Chamber of Commerce office in particular, the membership and now also marketing coordinator for the Grosse Pointe Chamber of Commerce is none other than Abigail Turnbull, back again for round two. What's going on, Abigail?
Thank you so much for having me back, and that was such an exciting welcome that makes me sound like I came from very, very far away, and you know, I guess I did. So thank you for that. And I'm excited to be here and talk about what's new with the chamber, because last time it was, I think, my first couple months that I was here. So now it's been a year and lots of fun stuff going on, and the summer's coming and there's always more going on then. So happy to be here.
Amen to that. You can say that again. So a year. So it's been a year for you since you've been. Feels like it's been longer than that, hasn't it?
I know, in a good way. It totally does.
Yes, in a totally good way. So tell me, how's the year been for you so far?
It's been amazing. It has been just a lot of learning, a lot of meeting new people, a lot of taking in new things, learning, getting new ideas, trial and error through just processes with basic day-to-day office things, and then with events and trying to incorporate some new things. So it's been a great experience. I'm very happy, and every day is a new adventure.
Well, it absolutely is. And for those that are unaware of not only who you are, but just the Grosse Pointe Chamber of Commerce in general, if you want to give a refresher to the audience and those that maybe are new, so welcome if you're tuning into this, who you are and what your role is with the chamber, what the chamber is. What is the Grosse Pointe Chamber of Commerce?
Of course, that's a helpful background to provide. So a chamber of commerce is kind of different from area to area depending on what, their goals are, what they want to do and provide for their community. But in Grosse Pointe, we serve the 5 Grosse Pointes that are 5 different cities. So Grosse Pointe Park, City, Farms, Woods, and Shores. And we also have a footprint in Harper Woods, St. Clair Shores, Detroit, and some other surrounding cities too, because of the way our community is unique, where people might live in one place, work somewhere else, own a business in another place. So we kind of strive to connect those individuals, businesses, organizations to support each other and encourage that commerce within the community. So my role as the membership and events coordinator, I work with our director and our finance director on planning all of our events, getting our members engaged, hearing them, meeting with them, seeing what we can do for them and what they want from us. So kind of a mix of things. And it's a lot of fun. And I also, as of a few months ago, I'm running the social media, and that's been a fun challenge to take on because, as Walter knows, that world is huge and changing constantly.
No,
and
don't I ever.
and it's fun to kind of get re-engaged with a lot of the members and see what they're doing day to day that I could have missed otherwise because, you know, we all have what we're doing and then everyone else is doing things for themselves, for their business. So to then feel more connected to that has been a lot of fun.
Yes, and so now you're wearing 2 hats. Sometimes it even feels like even more than
I
that.
think more than 2. Everyone in the office, we're always doing different things, and you know, it kind of depends on the day and the minute, the hour, like who's going to come through the door, then what you need to do for them, and it's a big mix, but keeps you on your toes.
Yes, absolutely. So since you've taken over, you know, the marketing as well, along with your current role, which you were initially hired into as membership. So what for you has been one of the biggest learning curves in now dual wielding and sometimes even triple and quadruple wielding, you know, various tasks and responsibilities now that it's just you and 2 others in that office? Like what's been the challenge for you, and you know, what are you hoping to accomplish and achieve for the year?
I think kind of like you said, the balancing of all of it. So figuring out what needs to get done when, what is most important. And if I do have just an endless list of things, and I'm always like, all right, I need time for a fresh page in the notebook and we're starting over. Like, what do I need to do? And kind of going through those things, and always anything that someone is waiting on me for an answer, like, you know, that's number 1 priority. And then just kind of going and thinking like, all right, well, what needs to get done for an event? What needs to get done for, you know, a deadline, and kind of going through and taking those in. But then, like I was kind of starting to say earlier too, you never know who's going to come in off the street with a question or an idea, or they're, you know, starting a business. They just moved here, and then you need to kind of flip and do, you know, whatever they need in that moment. And I think just keeping a record of like, all right, what's going on, all of that stuff, that's kind of where my days kind of build around those sorts of things. And another thing too that I found to be very helpful is just like not even looking at my phone, because if it's in an email or on my office phone, like that's where you can get me. But like there are days like yesterday, you texted me, didn't even see it, because it's like I'm, you know, so deep in like
it's
what
fine.
I'm doing, getting stuff done, and then it's like, okay, I can't look at my phone, because once I open the phone, then it's like a whole other can of worms. But then I'm very specific about like when I am going to look at my phone for social media purposes and check in and like see what's going on, and then do all of that.
Yeah.
So a constant balance, and like being okay with totally stopping something in a moment and then doing something else, because that's what needs to get done.
Absolutely. And I think also too, I think you definitely have probably picked up on this as well. It's for as as productive as you are, and as, you know, task oriented that you are, it is also extremely important to know when to just unplug and to just set that boundary, because if you don't, then
you go crazy.
You took the words right out of my mouth. So has that also been something that you've adjusted to and adapted into your routine, is unplugging and being able to say, not right now, you know, maybe in a little bit, or let me just recharge.
Yeah. And especially like with the social media, because that's constant. So members are constantly sharing things, and they have things come up. They have questions. They want to reach me. They want to, you know, well, not me, but they want to reach the chamber and, you know, connect somehow. And I see it, but then like I have gotten better about just like turning it on do not disturb. Like I don't need to look at 11:30 p.m. on a Tuesday and see what someone's doing for like an event next week. Like it's, you know, just kind of, I need to shut it off and have like my time to go to bed, decompress, do my own thing. And then it does feel better, because, you know, like it's not going anywhere. And I think most of us are, well, not, I wouldn't say fortunate, but most of us are fortunate that we're not living our lives in a place where we're like saving people's lives. So it's like, I'm not saving lives. Like I can let that wait. I can get back to someone, and, you know, I don't always have the answer right away. So
yeah,
it's important to remember that. And it's hard to, because I want to be like constantly like, yes, yes, yes. But
yeah,
no one can do that.
No. And it's, again, I think it's about setting that boundary. And I think before, when you had, you know, someone that was just doing the digital marketing and the corresponding through that, you had more room to breathe, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And now that slot has now been opened up, and now you're taking that on. Like, I gotta say, like, I don't know how you do it, like, but props to you, because wow.
Well, thank you. That means a lot. But it is a big difference, and kind of then that's more time I need to figure out, well, when am I going to be able to do this? But I find too that I'm someone who works best under the pressure of deadlines and a lot of things that I know need to get done. And there are days where I'm like just cranking through what I need to do, and it's like, wow, it flies by. I got it all done somehow. And days that are slower, it's kind of like, okay, well, what's next? Like, I won't do that yet because, I have this to do, and, so I do like work well with that, but it still is like a lot, and I do need to acknowledge that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's, like I said, as time has gone on and you've gotten the routine. I think the theme here, part of the theme is routine. I think once you got that routine down, then it's just like, okay, let's crank through this, let's do it. It's like gravy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So speaking of gravy, what a transition.
Are we getting a Thanksgiving dinner?
I listen.
I wish.
I listen. I mean, I know how to prep and cook a turkey. So, but I'll have to wait. But no, gravy, restaurant week. So
that was a beautiful transition. I was like, where are you going with that? Like,
listen, I'm here. Look, it's all about the flow.
You've done this before.
Have I? Maybe. So restaurant week. I know this is something that comes up every year, in particular this month, which is the month of May. But tell me and the audience about what is Restaurant Week. What does this entail? What does this mean for members of the chamber, maybe even non-members, the restaurants that are involved? So what is Restaurant Week, Abigail Turnbull?
Oh, of course. So this year, Restaurant Week is a little different because we are having it kind of fall within one of the weeks that the Junior League of Detroit is having their designer show house. It's their 25th annual or biannual big fundraiser where they take a historic home in the community and they bring in interior designers, and every room is done beautifully by a designer. And with that, it's a huge promotion. They came to us to kind of get some ideas on how to get a broader reach. And they have a cafe that's at the show house. So I said, well, Restaurant Week, you should do Restaurant Week, and we should have Restaurant Week later in May so it's warmer and people are more inclined to get out there, make a day of it, go see the house, go out to dinner, go to happy hour, and really just celebrate the community. So last year we started a passport to the Points, and we're bringing that back again this year, where we'll have postcards at all the restaurants that are participating. And when you go to a restaurant and you dine there for Restaurant Week, you will get a stamp that's a little sticker with their logo. And as you collect those, you get more and more chances to be entered into a big raffle that we will have at the end of Restaurant Week, where we'll give away gift cards and chamber change. Those are our chamber gift cards to people that have participated in Restaurant Week. So a lot of fun. I'll rattle through the names of everyone that's participating as of right now. And, it's Tuesday. Restaurant Week starts on Monday the 13th, so there's plenty of time for more people to join, which will totally happen because even during Restaurant Week last year, we're adding more restaurants as they were like, oh, I didn't know about that. And it's like, well, great, now, so let's get you on the list. But our sponsors are the Junior League of Detroit, Ford House, Ascension, Le Rouge Boulangerie, Brian Oyster House, Brooks Pizzeria, and Red Crown Cantina. So we're very excited, and nothing is possible without sponsors. So to be able to have a variety of those, we're very excited that feeds into what we're able to do and the marketing that we're able to provide for all of our members. And the participating restaurants, what everyone's been waiting for.
Yep, drum roll, please.
In alphabetical order, we have Alma Kitchen, Antonio's in the Park, Big Boy, Bricks, Brian Oyster House, Brown's Door, Caju Cafe, Champs, Continental at Ford House, Da Eduardo, Detroit Soul, Dirty Dog, Ferlito's, Irish Coffee Bar and Grill, the Junior League of Detroit Show House Cafe, Le Rouge Boulangerie, Lux, Mama Rosa's Pizza, Pendy's, Red Crown Cantina, Shift, Sidecar, Someday Brewing, Sprout House, Watermark, and Whiskey 6. So, lots of restaurants, lots of great options, a wide variety of locations, of areas. So anywhere you are during Restaurant Week, you can find somewhere fabulous to go eat, drink, and be merry. So we're very excited to have so many participants, and quite a few of these have done Restaurant Week in the past, and some since the beginning. Some are new, and all of them are currently chamber members too. So that's exciting too, to see them getting involved and giving back in some way of having a special and things like that.
Well, that's great. And all of those sound, I know I've been to quite a few of those, and there's some that I've wanted to check out. So I think that might be the time to do that.
Totally.
So how did this start? How did Restaurant Week even come to fruition?
So 10 years ago, it started as a chamber promotion to encourage people to go and dine and support the restaurants. And, you know, you might think like, oh, well, people go out to eat all the time, but so many don't, and so many go to the same places over and over. So Restaurant Week started as a way to kind of empower the restaurants to have a special, offer something new, and if it takes off, great. And if not, then, you know, you can go back to what you've been doing. So it's kind of changed over the years too, and the way that we're presenting it now is restaurants can offer their own specials. So if they want to offer a discount, they can. If they want to have a prefix menu, they can. It's kind of up to them, because we know how hard it is to, you know, do anything. And when you're having to then think of, all right, we'll make something new, then it gets tough. So we want to make it easy for the restaurants. So of those, quite a few, we're not sure yet what their specials will be, but we do have some special prefix dinner for two options, like from Champs and Bronze Door. What else do we have? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Detroit Soul, they have a free dessert if you are dining in. Someday Brewing, because they don't have food, they're encouraging people to go out to dinner at a restaurant and prove that you dined somewhere, or bring in takeout to their brewery, and then you get 10% off your bill. So that if you take nothing else away from the podcast, there is a discount on beer. So
yes, I love it.
So, but it's just nice to give them the option to do, you know, what works for them. And we don't want people to be spread thin with, oh, we have to make up this, you know, crazy food that we never have, but, you know, kind of work with what they do have and promote, you know, something fun and special. And with the warm weather, a lot are really excited to emphasize that their patios are open. And as you drive around town, I'm sure you've seen like patios are popping up everywhere. So we're excited with that, and fingers crossed the weather stays. We get more days like today.
Right. I know it's been a weird month and a half.
I know, like so hot, so cold, rainy, and then all over the place. But
I know. So that's awesome. So if there are restaurants that maybe aren't chamber members, are they can they participate in this, or do they have to be members of the chamber?
Yeah, they can. Non-members can participate. There's a different fee because we want the benefit, of course, to be to our members. And we last year had a few non-members participate, because sometimes if they're a franchise or they have a more corporate structure, it's harder to get the funds to join the chamber but they're able to allocate that to different things. So when they're able to participate in community events, that's when they can, you know, do Restaurant Week and stuff like that. So
perfect.
Those might be added.
I love it. I can go with that. For you, what is your favorite part about Restaurant Week? What do you get most excited about for this week of good food?
Of eating. Eating, like going out, having
besides the
eating, all the promotion that we're able to do for the restaurants, and seeing people on social media go out to eat, just, you know, word of mouth saying that they, you know, tried a new restaurant and they were excited because on the chamber website they saw that so-and-so was doing this special. So they, you know, seeing that people are stepping out of their comfort zone, taking advantage of what the offerings are and all that is very exciting. We will also have some news spots for Restaurant Week, to be determined what restaurants will be participating, but that will be features of, you know, their chefs highlighting menu items and fun stuff like that. So I'm excited about that, because that's exciting too. Like last year when we were on a couple different stations, I was getting texts from like friends of mine from college whose parents live like across town, and they're like, I just saw you on the news. And it's fun to see that we're making a broader reach with the event to then bring people into the community.
Yeah, I remember when I saw you, I think it was Channel 4. And
you were starstruck.
Well, it's funny because I know a couple people over at the station, and so I texted them. I'm like, do you recall having the Grosse Pointe Chamber of Commerce there? And like, oh yeah. And it's like, oh, that was a fun segment. And I was like, that's what I like to hear. So you did good. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's great, and they're having us back, so like that's good too. To then be
even
able
better
to go back. So we'll be on Live in the D on Monday. to be determined what restaurant will be represented. And then also on Monday, we'll be on the 9 on Fox. And I'm waiting to hear back from another station. I won't say because I haven't heard back for sure yet what time or when we can be on. But it's just exciting to see, too, that, they're able to get into our communities and work with local restaurants and businesses to then support on their broader platforms.
Absolutely.
So excited about that.
Yeah, and I think last year, I think it was Alma that got this was on live in the D. And Alma's right next door to here, the Knot. And if you haven't been there, it is freaking delicious. So
it is.
I highly, highly encourage anyone that hasn't been. And the weird part is when I mention it to people, they're like, "Where is that?" And like it's like they haven't heard of it. And then it's like, "Oh, it's there." Like it's I don't know.
It's funny how people can be so blind to something that's like there all the time, and then once it's there, that's all you see, But
absolutely,
so it's exciting. And then another fun promotion that we are adding for this year is billboards. So if you're driving on I-94 in Vernier, you will see the Restaurant Week billboards, and that's fun too. Just to because those are people that are commuting in and out of the city, and then to draw their eyes to Grosse Pointe Restaurant Week. Like, oh, what's that? That's something I should go to. And so it's fun too to kind of see how that'll play out. And I'm waiting to get photos of what they look like, but that's a fun thing too that keep an eye out for.
Perfect. And speaking of billboards and marketing, I kind of wanted to segue a little bit. If there was anything more you wanted to add in regarding Restaurant Week, or
at this point, I think I covered it. We talked about who else participating. The postcards will be available at the restaurants and at the chamber and also online. So, you can get it. There's no excuse. Like, you will get your passport. So we're excited about that. And if there are any questions, people can, of course, always reach out to me as with the Restaurant Week and anything else.
Perfect. So you heard it here first. Restaurant Week. Go take advantage of it. Hit up Abigail, the Chamber of Commerce office. They'll take care of you. And
be nice when you go out to the restaurants, too, because we want the restaurants to have good, happy patrons too. We don't want to hear so-and-so went and they were complaining about their passport or something. Like, go there with grace and be a good customer and you'll be taken care of. So
yeah, absolutely. Tip your staff, people. So with that being said, so you mentioned billboards and marketing. So now that you have now been named the new marketing coordinator for you, and I remember I asked your former marketing coordinator a couple of years ago when I had them on the show. I'm going to ask you this question because things have changed in the last few years, as we all know, in the digital marketing realm. What have you noticed has been the biggest turnarounds for your marketing campaign? Has it been through the use of social media, so Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn? What's the? I'm having a blank here. One that TikTok. I don't know if y'all have that. Has it been email campaigns? Has it been the website, or has it been more like door-to-door marketing, print marketing? And where have you seen? So basically, I guess what I'm trying to get at here is, where have you seen the biggest ROI and the biggest turnaround in retention and new business? Has it been through social media and or whatever other avenue? And where have you seen the most struggle with your marketing campaign? So what's worked and what is struggling at the moment?
So kind of a mix to give you a non-answer, but while answering the question, I'll start with kind of what I don't think. Well, it's unique. Like, every post is different. So there are different things that are meant for different audiences. And like, if we're posting a networking event, that'll be successful on LinkedIn. But if we're posting, a happy hour kind of, or a ribbon cutting, that's almost not as popular on LinkedIn. But we see a lot of success in video posts on Instagram and Facebook, and just general posts on Instagram and Facebook. And the events that we post get a lot of great response on social media, so it's nice to see like where those are tracking. And our email campaigns are very successful too. We have great open rates, and when we do paid ads that I know you see from our other members too, when we send those out, like a Monday e-blast that a member can buy to send out, we know those are getting great read because people will read it as if it's like coming from us and then reply and say, where can I buy my tickets, or where can I do this? How do I take advantage of this? So those, it's kind of a mix of what is successful, but that tells me too that there's people are finding what avenue they like to receive information, and they're taking advantage of getting it that way.
Okay. So I guess maybe to even get a little bit more specific, if you had to cut one part of your marketing, and you would be okay with that, which would it be?
I don't think anything, because is that the wrong answer?
I mean,
as someone in marketing, I think like having an option for everyone is important. So knowing that there are people that will never go on Facebook, but they're reading the email, like, okay, we can never get rid of, those options. And then knowing that people are never going to read an email, but they'll see Instagram and Facebook. I think it's important to have a variety. And one, though, that we don't even have an account on, but I think we wouldn't want to even like start to get into would be TikTok. So I would say that would be one that we're going to keep off of.
How come?
Because I think it's just opens almost like too big of a can of worms. And I know that can be great, and you go viral, but we want to be big in the community. And if it like is going too far out, then I don't see how that's going to benefit the members and like kind of what our goal is with communication for the chamber.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just, like I said, I know it's still, even though it's under hot water right now, getting the ban, but is it going to get banned? I don't know.
They've been saying that for years.
Yeah, they have, and, well, we could go down a very, very deep wormhole with that, but we won't today. That'll be another time. But, okay, so kind of you say basically there's a tool for a certain purpose, basically, right?
Yeah, and I think it's important to have that presence on the different platforms, because they do have different end goals, and like people are using them for different things. So to have the variety, it's like, all right, you can go there for your social and for your networking, and I think it's a good balance.
Yeah. Going into now the future, I know, I don't even think I asked this even a couple of years ago, because it wasn't really as prominent as it is now, but now that you are the marketing coordinator, Web3, augmented reality, virtual reality, various DSO platforms, is this something that the chamber is looking into as far as, creating what's already an established community, in the current Web 2.0, but now, translating that and putting that into now Web 3, is that something that you have not even just discussed with the rest of the team, but just exercised in your mind, just to have that as a thought?
Yeah, that's something that we've kind of, and I know we've talked about this too, where that's like to educate members on where social media, the internet, everything in between is heading, to make sure they're aware, because you don't want to be left behind. So that's kind of, I'd say, where we still are with that, is just kind of seeing how we can provide information, and whether it be like a formal lunch and learn, or just, here are things that you should read that are thrown into our newsletter. Like, we want to make sure that our members are educated and comfortable too. Right.
And I think in this sense too, because I noticed that, you're currently doing seminars, regarding like very, correct me if I'm wrong, very basic social media practices and marketing. Is this correct?
Well, basic to various degrees. So, because we have a lot of members that shared like they don't know where to start with social media. So our first thought was to, provide that foundation. So, is creating something on Instagram, how you make a post, how you do all that. And we've gotten great feedback in that. So we know that there are members that are at that end of the spectrum, where like they need to know how to create something and how to just get comfortable posting and not worrying about what they've posted. But on the other side, there are those members that are very advanced, and then to provide tools for them. So it's like, a balance of what we will eventually be doing.
Okay. Yeah, because like I said, I've noticed it's hey, any education is, I'm all for. So, but it's like coming up with, how to tag people or how to create a post. Like, that's something I feel like the average millennial, especially Gen Zer, knows how to do. It's I think, like you said, it's more catered towards members that maybe aren't as tech savvy with the internet, and social media, and I'll say, because it's my show, I'll say if it's maybe for the more seasoned professionals and seasoned members and seasoned individuals in general that maybe aren't as privy to social media, which is okay. Like, it's sometimes it just takes a little bit longer for people to catch on, right?
I would say that it's also for, though, like the people that are younger and maybe aren't as involved in social media, where like you're doing marketing and you're in the back end and you know a lot of like the foundational stuff. But like for me, even sitting and learning about some different settings and different tools within the apps and things like that was really helpful for me. And I'm someone that I consider myself to be very tech savvy and social media savvy, and so it's good, I think, for the full spectrum of people. But then some of those things like tagging, like yes, I know how to tag on Instagram, but someone next to me might not. So it's for everyone,
right? So then going, and
just like the reminders of like, oh, that's how you do that, like, okay, that makes sense, that's why it's this way, to then be able to go on and explain yourself, I think is helpful for anyone at any level.
And then not only that, but also then to evolve it into the next tier and the next phase of the internet, Web3. I think trying to relay that information to someone that maybe isn't as privy to it, or maybe wants to learn a little bit more. Now we're going into a territory where it's still, a lot of it is very much uncharted. I find that exciting, but for some people that might be a little intimidating. But I think in order to do that, it's got to be, because you can't get too tech with it, because if you do, then you're going to lose people, and that's the last thing you want, is to get too technical, make it very basic. Right.
Ignore this.
Yeah, exactly. So I think maybe that's something I know that we've kind of chatted about, and finally our owner of the building is here, so we can have that conversation. But no, okay, yeah. So you're exercising that in your brain already, that Web3 is here. AI is here. The next tier of the internet is building. So props to you for thinking of that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's part of what we need to do, because when people are asking us, like, how do I do this? How do I do that? We need to know, and the more that we know, the more we can empower people to also learn and get comfortable, and, not lean on us, but feel empowered to go out on their own. Absolutely.
So speaking of empowerment and, reeling in people, I've noticed that there has been a rise of a new tier of the subgenre, I'll call it, of the chamber. This thing called the Young Professionals. What can you tell me about this latest endeavor? And then we can go from there.
So the Young Professional Group started with an event in October, and since we've been kind of just figuring out like what people want, like we get a lot of feedback on, I want this, I want that, but to kind of see like, oh, all right, what's actually going to work? And it's exciting to see that that's catching on, and we have members that have connections to other areas and other chambers to get their feedback from, well, what they've liked, what they've done, and even opportunities to collaborate, sometimes potentially in, a service setting where we're able to have maybe a volunteer day together, do something like that, but also just network, because despite, there being so many people in our community and the surrounding communities, just 30 minutes down the road, there's like, almost a different world in some cases. So to be able to meet those people, see what they do for work, and then see opportunities down the road and just the connections that we can offer is something that's exciting. So it's kind of a constant work in progress to kind of figure out like how we can engage young people, engage people from other cities, and just build together, because there are I think a lot of the young professionals in Grosse Pointe, like we do have a lot of members that are young, they own their own businesses and they're very involved on themselves, but then there are others that work for a large company and they need to feel that they can also be part of those groups and get involved. So
yes, yeah. And not only that, but correct me if I'm wrong, I believe there's already been a couple events that let's just call it what it is. They've kind of had to get canceled. Is that
yeah,
unfortunate?
And
That's what's happened.
And I think some of those being like evening events, maybe like we've kind of found that those are people that don't want to then commit their whole evening to something. They'd rather it be like an in and out happy hour or a morning session that's really structured. So yeah, that's part of the learning curve, and it's unfortunate because I want everything to, be a huge success, but when they're not, then it's kind of like, all right, well, it wasn't meant to be, so it's best that we didn't, because we don't want to waste anyone's time. We wouldn't want there to be, 5 people there that all came together and know each other. That doesn't benefit you in your business. We want it to be beneficial where you're meeting new people, you're, talking to someone you maybe would never have talked to, and, so figuring out how we can provide that is kind of what we're working through.
Yeah, and I think because I'm all for a young professional. I was on a young professional committee, back in, probably 5 years ago or so, and it was an interesting experience because it was one of those things where, dealing with like seasoned professionals, or like I'll call them like the more like adult professionals, which what is an adult these days, but when you get used to that rhythm, that's one thing. But then when you're dealing with a younger demographic, so now young professionals age from, anywhere, I'm going to say a proper.
And
yeah, but I'm going to go a little bit further, and I'm going to say it's going to go from 25 till like 40. 40 would be the cutoff. And I say 25 because I feel like at that point in one's life, they're pretty much they're just getting into their career. They're either ending school, they're just about to end school. They've maybe got that first job, or but they're at this point in their life where, they need to find a little bit of direction. They need something that's gonna guide them to what can give them more opportunities and open more doors. And so I think and again, just speaking from experience, I think having a young professional committee and having a young professional organization should have those types of opportunities because, look, I love getting together with people. I love mixing and mingling. I could do it till the cows come home, but I could do that on my spare time. I think, having a mixture, and this is just, what do I know? I'm just a lowly, peon in the overall scheme of things. But having that mixture of, what is good, like what makes here's an idea for you. What makes good networking? How do you connect with someone on a professional level? What makes it impactful? Classic example for me personally, and this is just through experience, coming up on 8 years and being in business and networking, I find that when people are quick to give me their business card right like that off the bat, and they just start talking about themselves, you've lost me. Because a lot of times they're not going to do the same for you. Mm-hmm. It's just them wanting to get something. What can I get out of you? That doesn't mean anything to me, and maybe for someone that's just starting out, they don't understand that. Mm-hmm. So maybe having some sort of
kind of abrasive, like, this is me, I'm great.
Yeah, and even just the art of conversation.
Because too, like even though they've lost you there, but if someone is just going to throw a business card at you and then move on, like you could have talked to them anyway and figured out quickly that you're not going to have anything from them. So just that's why it's important to get to know someone before you have that exchange. So that would be a great, even just like topic too, like a training of how to present yourself and how you might think you're the greatest person on the planet, but like really, like, are you? And kind of be taught that, because those are things that most people don't know right off the bat. It takes experience and
absolutely, and I think having something like that would be so beneficial. And I think you'd be surprised to see like what kind of a turnout you could get for that. Because I would go to that.
How to network? Let's write it down.
That's right. This is why we do this, so we can collaborate and see this marketing minds meet.
There we go.
And
that's our show.
And seed. But again, in all seriousness, I think it's, I want to see it succeed. I want to see this thing thrive.
And I do too, because it's something that we get feedback from young members and everyone in between. Like people, there's this drive, to empower the next generation, and we need them to feel empowered to get empowered. So it's a mix of figuring out, like, all right, what are we going to do? How can we do it? and do it well, because we don't want it to be a waste for anybody.
Right. And I think verbiage, what you use to put in descriptions and titles. So the younger demographic likes more positive type things. So like empowerment, inclusion, collaboration, good vibes. Like that's where Gen Z is right now. And even the younger tier of the millennials. Like, I know I kind of consider myself, I am getting to be in that elder millennial bracket. So hearing those, it's like, oh, okay, I can get with that. That's fine, But I think having, even just implementing, keeping that in the forefront of your brain and your mind when you're coming up with these things, like, it's you're catering to a whole different.
People have enough, like you were saying, the word choice is so important because people have enough negativity throughout the day. They need to have something else be a positive outlet.
Right, exactly. And so I think, a workshop like that, I think something else too to kind of keep in mind here too when doing these types of things is expressing the importance, and I really do mean this, the importance of, and I remember it's from a seminar that, again, my committee that I was on, a few years ago did. We had pretty big figures in the Macomb County communities. We had like Mark Hackle, Blaine Fowler. We had a couple other people that were, pretty big fish in that area. And the whole point and premise was, finding that mentor, finding that person that's going to be able to guide you, that's going to be able to lead you and to show you certain avenues and opportunities to help you in your career. And, but also too, someone that's not going to always give you the answers, I think, and that was another big takeaway too, was, find the mentor that's gonna, demonstrate through their work and through their process, but also too, to let you know, like, I mean, I've had mentors of mine that said, Walter, like, you fucked up. And it's like, damn, like, that hurts, but I need to hear that.
Yeah, because if you only hear good all the time, then you're never going to change and grow.
Right. So I think having something like that too, it's whatever seminar program that might be, again, I think you'd be surprised to see what can transpire from that,
Yeah, that's great. Look at this great feedback, great conversation.
Yeah, and like I said, it bummed me out to hear about those events getting canceled, because it's just like, man, like what's going on, So like any again, I want to see it succeed. I do, and I want to be able to attend these events and be like, that was awesome. That was helpful. That was impactful. That made it made an impact. So. You can do it. I know you can do it.
Thank you.
I don't know if I asked this question to you before. Maybe I did or didn't. But if I did, maybe you could, the same answer, or maybe you revise your answer. This will be the last part of the dark side of the channel or the show. So now you've gone up the ranks in the chamber. And now you are wearing multiple hats. So I'm gonna condense this quite a bit. So let's say you had a chance encounter with what happened to be the devil himself. And if the devil were to make you an offer where he would say, Abigail Turnbull, I have an opportunity for you that you couldn't refuse. I'm going to make you one of the most successful membership coordinators and marketing coordinators for this organization, but not only just this organization, but you're going to have people wanting to come into GP in the bubble and want to join this organization because of you, and you are going to be world-renowned in your field and what you do. There's just a price that you have to pay, some sacrifices, so to speak, whatever those may be. Could be family, could be friends, loved ones, could be something in your own personal life. But you would have notoriety. You wouldn't have to worry about any sort of financial burdens or strains. You would be set for life. Do you take this offer that the devil presents to you?
What an interesting question. I probably not. Like, I don't want to have to sacrifice.
Took a little bit to think about that.
Like, well, I'm just trying to think through, like, all right, what I wouldn't want to sacrifice, like, my family. That's all important to me. Like, whatever that could be, I wouldn't want to miss out on something to gain something. And I'm a hardworking woman. Like, I can get what I need where I should be on my own, and with, you know, support of people, of course. But I would say no. And that's no.
Okay.
I would say
all
no
right.
to that. You definitely did not ask me that last year.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I'm sure I would have had the same answer, because that's not how I am.
Well, good for you.
I'm not a what would that be? Like I'm not a social climber, but I'm trying to think of, like, what the right comparison would be.
Like
Kind of social climber, or just, like, I'm not greedy. That's
yeah,
greed thing.
cutthroat.
Yeah, cutthroat. I'm not cutthroat. I'm not competitive. You don't want me on your team, like.
You're not competitive,
team.
really?
No, not like in sports and stuff. No, I'm very fair and happy and content with myself, and if I'm meant to win, I'm meant to win. But
Wow.
I'm very level-headed.
Well, props to you, because I'm extremely competitive. Yeah, no, I do not. Losing is not an option, and if it happens, yeah, I gotta get back to my zen.
I'm just a happy girl. I don't know what to say.
Wow, it's always been that way.
Yeah. Maybe, like, someone, like, in my family would be like, well, no, you were really, like, you know, tough here or there, but no, for the most part, I think that's something just with growing up. Like, I've grown to be very level-headed and I think I'm very easygoing. And I like things a certain way, and of course things get done a certain way most of the time, but if it doesn't go that way, it's okay. And I think that's important, to accept that and not, like, always be like, well, I want it this way, I want to win, I want this. I'm not like that at all.
Well, good for you.
Thank you.
That's I admire that. I almost envy that. Okay, so now we're done with the dark side. Congratulations, you made it out.
Oh, thank you.
So now we'll get into the light, and we're going to do the live stream here momentarily. So here we go. You can see yourself up there. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition, whatever you want to call it, of the Marketing Minds Meet live stream. It's been a minute, but we're back, and today I have an individual that's making their return, their second appearance, a sequel appearance, we'll call it. And this is an individual that has been a part of the community here in Grosse Pointe for pretty much their entire life. And they are now embedded even more so into said community, because they are now working alongside and with and for the Grosse Pointe Chamber of Commerce. They are the membership and now newly appointed marketing coordinator for the chamber. I am thrilled and excited to once again announce the return of Abigail Turnbull.
Thank you so much. Another wonderful gas up right before you introduced me, so thank you.
Hey, I gotta hype up my guests, you know.
Like I'm about to go into the ring or something.
Oh, okay, all right.
As we just said, I'm not competitive. Like,
Oh, I love it. Okay, so Abigail, if you want to just for the audience and the viewers that are tuning in or might tune in afterwards, tell us a little bit about who you are, your role with the chamber a little bit more, and what is the Grosse Pointe Chamber of Commerce.
So, yes, I'm Abigail Turnbull, and I'm the Membership Events and Marketing Coordinator with the Grosse Pointe Chamber of Commerce, and I've been there just over a year, and recently took over the marketing role with running our social media. And chambers in different communities do a lot of different things. Some are very focused on political activism, and others are focused on other things, but ours is very focused on our community and empowering people in the community to support the community, from business to business support, finding, connections and opportunities to collaborate. And we work to serve those individuals and businesses and organizations to help them grow and connect and reach outside of their comfort zone and, strive to be the best.
Perfect. And yeah, like I said, I've been a member since 2021, I think. Yeah. And I've had nothing but good things. Great experience. Gotten leads out of it. So Thank you.
You've gotten great guests out of it. Not just me, but like lots of other people. So it's exciting. And that's what we love to see. The people that are our members are taking advantage of opportunities to meet each other and connect beyond a networking event or, quick run-in. So
absolutely. And today is no exception. So today on this quick live stream here, I wanted to tackle a couple things. The first being we have this event coming up next week. It is called Restaurant Week, and yes, it is what you think it is. It's a week devoted to restaurants in the community, and I am going to yield the floor to Abigail here and to kind of relay to everyone what is Restaurant Week, who participates, and the floor is yours.
Wonderful. So, as we were talking earlier on the first podcast before the live stream, when I was talking about the history of Restaurant Week, what I failed to mention was I am pretty sure it was New York City where Restaurant Weeks originated, and it became like it's like a big competition and like a huge kind of event that goes on in the city. And ours, was kind of based off of that to then empower people to go out to the restaurants, try something new, have the restaurants create new menu items or specials and stuff like that. So over the years, our Restaurant Week has kind of evolved to be something that is unique for each restaurant. So anywhere you go, you might get a different special, a different discount, a free dessert, something like that. So it's a fun promotion to get all of our restaurants to kind of think outside the box and encourage the community to get out and support them. So I'll rattle through the participants that we have this year, and as of today, that's who we have participating, and many of them are repeats from last year and prior years. Some are new, so I encourage everyone to get out and support all of them. So first we have Alma Kitchen, and then Antonio's in the Park, Big Boy, Bricks, Brine, Oyster House, Bronze Door, Caju Cafe, Champs, Continental at Ford House, Da Eduardo, Detroit Soul, Dirty Dog, Ferlito's, Irish Coffee Bar and Grill, the Junior League of Detroit Show House Cafe, Le Rouge Boulangerie, Lux, Mama Rosa's, Pendy's, Red Crown Cantina, Shift, Sidecar, Someday Brewing, Sprout House, Watermark, and Whiskey Six. So there is something truly for everyone with all of those restaurants. Many of them have already shared their sample menus for Restaurant Week and their specials, and they're awesome. And you can find all of that on the Chamber website. So lots of exciting stuff coming up.
Yummy, yummy food in my tummy.
Yes.
That's awesome. And there's some newer names on there. I'm gonna give a shout out to Someday just because I love that place. It's right near where I live too. So I'm glad they're participating. I'm glad you put them on the roster.
And something unique to Someday Brewing too, for those that might not be familiar, they are a brewery. They do not have a kitchen. So their promotion is that if you go out to one of the participating restaurants and prove with your postcard that you will be getting to prove, collect stamps of where you've gone for Restaurant Week, they'll give you 10% off your order. So, a great reason to get out and support and try somewhere new. So excited about that.
Absolutely. And how long has, I know we talked about this before, but how long has Restaurant Week been a thing with the Chamber?
For about 10 years. And over the years, it's changed, it's grown, and we're excited to see it continue to grow. So it's fun, and the more things, when there's more repetition, that's when things kind of catch on more with anything. So we're excited to continue to grow Restaurant Week and have it be something that hopefully it's another great success. So we're excited about it.
Perfect. Yeah, no, it's you heard it here first. There's so many again wonderful places to check out, dine in, get that passport punched in, and
carry out too,
carry out as well.
Lots of, Mama Rosa's is one. They are carry out only, so you can, and they're another local right down the street. You have so many great restaurants right here.
I know.
It's going to be a dangerous week for you. But yeah, there's something for everyone. And again, like you said, there are so many new places, so get out, try them, and support them, and, be positive through the whole experience. And like we were talking about earlier, you want to be patient and know it's busy at all times in any restaurant, so be the good patron. You don't want to be the one that everyone's complaining about later. So that's
right. Don't be a Karen. And tip your staff, tip your wait staff.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then the last part I have for you was there anything else you wanted to add in regarding Restaurant Week? Or
well, there will also be some news slots, so make sure you're keeping up with the Chamber on Instagram and Facebook to see where you can see us in addition to on YouTube as we are today. And everywhere else online and on social media. But keep up with us, and any questions you can always reach out. And I also must give a shout out to all of our wonderful sponsors that are making this possible. So the Junior League of Detroit, Ford House, Ascension, Le Rouge, Brine, Bricks, and Red Crown have been very generous with their support of Restaurant Week, and we're excited to see it all come together.
Perfect. I love it. Thank you, sponsors. We appreciate you. I know
and
the chamber.
Thank you, restaurants. I know it's
thank you,
tough
restaurants.
to take the time out of your routine to devote to something outside of the restaurant. So we're very grateful for all the participants.
Yes, absolutely. I'm just glad restaurants are pretty much back to full swing.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. Who's there? Okay. Thank you, Restaurant Week. Just try them all out if you can. And it's trust
May
me.
13th through 19th. I should say that too. So we start on Monday, May 13th, and we end on Sunday, May 19th. So that was also strategically done the day after Mother's Day. So, you make your nice brunch for mom, you celebrate, and then Monday you hit the ground running to fill your passport.
Perfect.
So it's going to be a great week.
Absolutely, it will. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And again, viewers, do it. Restaurant Week. It's going to be worth it. Totally worth it. And then finally, I have just a couple more fun questions for you. I think we might have...
I like fun.
Yes. So when you are, and I think you might have answered this before, but who knows? Things can change. When you are not being the producer that you are with membership and marketing with the Grosse Pointe Chamber of Commerce, what does Abigail Turnbull enjoy doing on her downtime and her spare time? What are some of your favorite hobbies and activities?
Other than going out to eat at all the local restaurants, I am very active. So I like staying active, going for walks, runs. I'm training for the half marathon again. I did that for the first time last year. So I think actually last year when I was first here was when I was like first talking about starting training and everything. And that has been, it's just fun because I was never a runner. I hated running. And then I was volunteering at the marathon a couple years ago and saw that anyone at any age, anybody can truly be a runner. So I was like, if they can all do it, so can I. And just started small and grew from there. And it's, very therapeutic. Any exercise is going to be so good for you inside and out. And so I do run quite a bit, and that's something fun that like my dad has also done. My boyfriend runs with me, so like there's it's a community thing, so that's fun. And I enjoy spending time with my family and friends. I'm very fortunate. I have a lot of family in the area, so I see them all the time. And now that it's getting nicer, I like going out on the boat, and boat's not in the water yet, but getting out on the water and kayaking and all those fun things, and just getting out in the community and going new places and trying new things.
Just being very active in general.
Yeah, and traveling. I love traveling too, and I've been very fortunate this year. I was just in Ireland a few months ago, and I'm going to Paris in a couple weeks, so I have a lot of big travel going on.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot you were in Ireland.
Yeah.
What favorite part about Ireland?
All of it, but I know, another bad answer. There's music everywhere, and that was super, super fun. So at any hour of the day, you could go into a number of places, and there would be live music, and it was good live music. So like that was my favorite part. It was super, super fun. You'd appreciate that too, being a music guy.
Yeah, of course.
So
of course.
I love that. And I was with my sisters, so we had just a lot of fun together and did a lot of shopping, a lot of sightseeing, and a lot of Guinness. So it was a very good time.
Oh, Guinness. See, that's a beer I can't.
I thought I could not drink Guinness until I was in Ireland, and then it was like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
It is not to be snobby, like it's totally different here, but it was very, very fun to have a lot of Guinness there.
I've also heard too, and I'm sure you can confirm this, that the beer in Ireland's a lot thicker, right? Or it's like darker.
Darker, but it's like made like that because like Guinness is dark here too. They are kind of darker. I don't know what it is but like to me too, like they're so, because we went to a couple of museums that kind of go through like how the beer's made, and it's very simple. So it's interesting. I don't know the chemical reactions that make it different than like, a Coors Light that we'd have here.
Well, I mean, that's
water. Like
yeah.
Food colored water. I love a Coors Light though.
Oh yeah. I mean, That and dad beers in
a
general.
dirty blonde, any lighter colored beer, and
Yes, yeah, and then just dad beers like PBR, Altus. You ever have a beer called Black Label?
no.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Secret's out now, people. If you go to a liquor shop, it's called Embassy. It's right off of 10 Mile.
Should be writing this down.
I think you
Get
should.
my pen out.
That's right. Take notes. Embassy Liquor. It's right off of, and you must be 21 years or older to drink. It is. It's right off of 10 Mile. So if you go up 94 and just get off at 10, it'll be on the west side of the overpass. So right, you'll see it. There's a huge sign. They have. I still call them Dirty 30s of Black Label. So basically, think of Black Label as like the Canadian PBR, but it's like it is right here. And for a Dirty 30, I mean, you can get it for like $20 or below.
My kind of price.
I mean, listen, and you mentioned boating. It is a
Perfect
great
for the boat.
Yeah, me and my one best friend who he's got a boat that we go on a lot, and yeah, we'll split that easily a case. So
That's so fun. Good to know. Wrote
See,
it down.
Black Label. It's made by I think it's Carlin or something like that. But it's in a red case. You can find it. Obviously, you go back into the section. It's on the bottom shelf. But even though it's bottom shelf beer, it tastes like top tier, top shelf. So there you go.
I love that.
Abigail, how can people, if they're interested in not just Restaurant Week, but just more information about the chamber membership, what they can do to become involved with that, how can they reach out to you? Do you have a phone number, email, website, social media? Now's the time to plug all of those
Everything
things.
in between. So you can find me a number of ways. On Instagram, the chamber is GP_chamber, and on Facebook, we're the Grosse Pointe Chamber of Commerce, as well as on LinkedIn. If you want to get in touch with me directly, my email is Turnbull@grossepointechamber.com. So ATURNBULL@grossepointechamber.com, all spelled out. And my phone number is 313-881-4722, extension 102. I think that covers all the ways you can reach me. Or you can just come visit us. The chamber is located at 106 Kirchville on the hill.
There you go.
Right by a number of wonderful small businesses and restaurants. So
Like Flyleaf.
And when you're out for Restaurant Week, having your lunch at Dirty Dog on the patio, you can come over before you go have your drink at Lux, and then your Bronze Door dinner. The whole day can really just, stem
Your
around the
whole
chamber
bougie
office.
day, go visit the chamber.
Yeah, so
All right.
thank you.
Abigail, I gotta say, the sequel. I think, dare I say it was might have been better than the first part.
And that never happens in Hollywood, so we've done something good here tonight.
Right? No, I can't thank you enough for today and coming back and having this wonderful conversation. I always enjoy sitting down chatting with you, and I know since you've taken up the new mantle over at the office, it's you've had your hands tied a little bit more, but that has not stopped you from producing.
Well,
So
thank you.
It's a thrill to have you, and
It's
I
a
love to
thrill
have
be
you
here,
back.
So thank you.
So, well, that does it for today's show. I want to thank once again my guest, Abigail Turnbull, from the Grosse Pointe Chamber of Commerce Membership and Marketing Coordinator. Please, if you like what you saw, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Click that bell on our YouTube channel for all notifications of all things Marketing Minds Meet and WA Hooper marketing updates on our channel. And until next time, this has been another installation of Marketing Minds Meet. So thank you very much. Have a good one.